Hello mga math aaral! Welcome to my Taglish step-by-step math video tutorial. In this video, I am going to discuss graphing linear equation in two variables. We are going to graph linear equation in two variables using any 2 points, using x and y intercept, using slope and y-intercept, and using slope and a given point. A linear equation in two variables can be written in its standard form ax plus by equals c, or slope-intercept form y equals mx plus b. It can also be graphed using the following methods. A. Using any 2 points. B. Using the x and y intercepts. C. Using the slope and y-intercept. And D. Using the slope and a given point. Let's have example using any 2 points. So let's have example number 1. Graph the linear equation in two variables y equals x plus 2 using 2 points. So para magkaroon tayo ng 2 points, kailangan natin mag-set ng dalawang values ng ating x. So ang pinili kong x values natin ay positive 1 at negative 2. Pagkatapos natin mag-set ng dalawang values ng ating x, ay isa-substitute natin itong dalawang to sa ating equation na y equals x plus 2. So, unahin natin ang x plus 1. Pag sinabing substitute, ay papalitan lamang natin yung x dito ng value ng ating x na 1. So, yung x ay ginawa ko na siyang 1. So, I just copied y equals at yung plus 2. So, 1 plus 2 ay equal to 3. So, our y now is equal to 3. So, meron na tayong first point which is 1, 3. So, para sa x equals negative 2 naman ay papalitan din ulit natin yung x natin ng negative 2. Then, kokopyahin lang ang y equals at yung plus 2. So, negative 2 plus 2 is equal to 0. Hence, ang ating second point ay negative 2, 0. Ngayon, igagraph na natin siya using the Cartesian plane. So, laging unahin ang ating x values. Titignan natin siya sa x-axis or the horizontal number line. And then, yung y natin na 3 ay titignan naman natin sa y-axis or the vertical number line. So, itatapat natin yung ating points sa 1, 3. So, nasan yung 1 sa x-axis? Andito siya. So, nasan yung 3 sa y-axis? Andito naman. So, itatapat natin yung ating points sa positive 1 at positive 3 sa y-axis. So, yung point ay andito. Ayan. So, as you can see, yung ating point ay nakatapat sa 1 at nakatapat sa 3. At yung ating second point naman ay itatapat natin sa negative 2 at 0. Yung negative 2 ay located dito. X-axis muna ang unahin. And then, yung y natin na 0 ay andito. So, yung point natin ay dito. So, negative 2, nakatapat siya sa negative 2 at the same time, as you can see, nakatapat din siya sa 0. So, yung second point natin ay andyan. So, connecting now these 2 points, i-connect natin tong dalawang point na to gamit ang line. So, we have now, ayan. So, this is now our graph for the linear equation y equals x plus 2. Let's have another example using any 2 points. So, example number 2, graph the linear equation in two variables y equals negative 3x plus 4 using 2 points. So, para magkaroon tayo ng 2 points, kailangan natin mag-set ng dalawang values ng ating x. So, ang gagamitin ko ay I let x equals positive 2 and x equals negative 1. So, itong 2 values ng ating x ay isa-substitute natin dun sa ating equation para makuha natin yung value ng ating y. So, unahin natin ang x equals 2. So, pag sinabing substitute ay papalitan lamang natin yung ating x dito ng positive 2. Negative 3x means negative 3 times x. So, yung x dito ay papalitan ko ng 2. So, negative 3 times 2. Just copy plus 3 at yung ating y equals. Simplifying this, we have now negative 3 times positive 2 is negative 6. And negative 6 plus 3 ay negative 3. So, our y value is negative 3. Hence, our first point is positive 2 and negative 3. Positive 2 and negative 3. Kapag yung x naman ay equal to negative 1, isubstitute ulit natin siya dito sa ating equation. Again, pag sinabing substitute ay papalitan natin yung value ng x ng negative 1. So, itong x ay ginawa ko ng negative 1. So, negative 3 times negative 1, since pareho sila ng sign, is always positive. So, 3 times 1 is positive 3. Positive 3 plus 3 ay equal to positive 6. Hence, our y value is positive 6. So, at yung ating pangalawang point, our second point is negative 1 and 6. So, i-plot na natin, i-graph na natin itong ating dalawang point gamit ang Cartesian plane. So, I repeat, unahin nating tignan lagi ang ating x value sa ating x-axis. At yung y value sa ating y-axis. So, itatapat lamang natin yung point dito sa ating 2 and negative 3. So, yung 2 ay located sa x-axis. Ito, nandito siya. At yung negative 3 naman ay nandito. So, itatapat natin yung point sa positive 2 at negative 3. So, ayan. So, kung mapapansin nyo, nakatapat na siya sa positive 2 at negative 3 sa y-axis. So, our point is located here. So, ayan yung isang point natin. At yung second point ay negative 1, 6. Yung negative 1 sa x-axis ay andito. At yung ating positive 6 sa y-axis ay, ayan, andito siya. So, itatapat natin yung point sa negative 1 at 6. So, as you can see, nakatapat na siya sa negative 1 at positive 6 sa y-axis. So, yung second point natin ay located dyan. Ayan. So, andito na ang ating dalawang points. These are now our 2 points. Connecting now these 2 points using line, we have now the graph. So, ito na yung ating graph ng y equals negative 3x plus 4. Now, let's have the next method in graphing linear equations in 2 variables. It is using x-intercept and y-intercept. So, what is x-intercept and y-intercept? The x-intercept is the subsisa of the coordinates of the point A0. A now is the x-intercept. Y0 here because we let y equals 0 in finding the x-intercept, where the graph intersects the x-axis, while y-intercept is the ordinate of the coordinates of the point 0, B, where B now here is our y-intercept. Then, yung value ng x natin ay 0. Why 0? Because in finding the y-intercept, we let x equals 0, where the graph intersects the y-axis. So there are steps in graphing linear equations in two variables using x-intercept and y-intercept. First step is solve for y-intercept by letting x equals 0 to have a point 0b. Second, solve for x-intercept by letting y equals 0 to have a point A0. Then third, plot the 2 points in the rectangular coordinate system. Then, connect the 2 points to form a straight line. Let's have example using x-intercept and y-intercept in graphing linear equations into variables. So let's have the first illustrative example. Graph the linear equation in two variables 2x minus y equals 4 using x-intercept and y-intercept. So our first step here is to find for the y-intercept. So para mahanap natin yung y-intercept, we let x equals 0. Gawin nating 0 yung ating x. So, substitute now the value of x, which is 0, sa ating given equation. So, 2x here means 2 times x. So, yung x ngayon ay papalitan natin ng 0. So, we have now 2 times 0. Then, kopyahin lamang ang minus y equals 4. Then, simplifying, 2 times 0 is 0. So, ang natira na lamang dito sa ating left side ay negative y. And then, copy equals 4. Yung y natin ay dapat laging positive. So, kailangan natin gawing positive itong negative y natin. So, para maging positive ang negative y, mag-times tayo ng negative 1 both sides of the equation. So, nag-times ako ng negative 1 dito sa left side, nag-times din ako ng negative 1 dito sa right side. So, simplifying this, negative 1 times negative y ay positive y. So, naging positive na ang ating y. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. So, to write the point, we use the 0b. So, we have now 0b, where b is the y-intercept. So, we have 0, negative 4. The value of our y is negative 4. And the value of our x is 0. So, meron na tayong point 0, negative 4. Next step natin ay to find for the x-intercept. So, x-intercept naman ang ating hahanapin. Para mahanap ang x-intercept, gawin naman nating 0 ang ating y. So, papalitan natin ng 0 yung y dito sa ating equation. So, just copy 2x at yung y ay naging 0. Then, copy equals 4. So, 2x equals 4. So, wala na yung 0. Deleted na. So, kailangan maging x lang yung matitira dito sa ating left side. So, kailangan natin mag-divide ng positive 2 para mawala itong 2 na katabi ng x. So, dividing both sides by 2, we have now 2x divided by 2 equals x. And 4 divided by 2 is positive 2. So, to write our coordinates, we use A0, where A now is our abscissa or the x-intercept. So, yung ating pangalawang point ay 2, 0. This is now our x value and our y value is 0. So, since meron na tayong dalawang point dito, gamit yung y-intercept and x-intercept, pwede na natin siyang i-plot sa Cartesian plane. Yun ang ating third step. So, plotting now 0, negative 4. Yung point ay nakatapat sa 0 at negative 4. So, we have now the point here. Then, we have the second point, 2, 0. Nakatapat sa 2 at 0. So, yung second point natin ay andito. Then, our last step is to connect these 2 points here using straight line. So, this is now the graph of 2x minus y equals 4. So, let's have another example using x and y intercept. Example number 2. Graph the linear equation in two variables 5x equals 10 minus 2y using x-intercept and y-intercept. So, ang first step natin ay to find for the y-intercept. So, para mahanap natin yung ating y-intercept, we let x equals 0. So, papalitan lamang natin yung x dito sa ating equation ng 0. So, 5x means 5 times x. So, we have now 5 times 0. Pinalitan na natin yung x dito ng 0. Then, just copy equals 10 minus 2y. So, 5 times 0 is 0. So, meron na lang tayo natitirang 10 minus 2y. So, since yung negative 2y natin ay andito sa right side, kailangan natin siyang ilipat sa left side. Kasi yung y ay dapat laging nasa left side. So, pag nilipat natin ang negative 2y sa ating left side, ay magiging positive 2y. So, we have now 2y equals 10. So, para matanggal itong 2 at y lang ang matira, i-divide natin both sides of the equation ng positive 2. So, 2y divided by 2 is equal to y. Because 2 divided by 2 is 1. May 1 dito. 1, y or y only. Or pwede namang cancel ang ating 2 dito. So, 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5. Thus, our first point is 0, 5. Okay. So, next step is hanapin naman natin ang x-intercept. So, para mahanap ang x-intercept, gawin naman nating 0 ang ating y. So, papalitan lamang natin ang ating y dito ng 0. So, just copy 5x equals 10 minus 2 times yung ating y is 0. And negative 2 times 0 is 0. So, ang natira na lamang ay 5x equals 10. So, para matanggal yung 5 dito, kailangan natin mag-divide both sides by 5. So, 5x divided by 5, cancel na yung 5. Ang natira ay x. 10 divided by 5 is equal to 2. Thus, our second point is 2, 0. Laging unahing isulat ang value ng 2. Ang value ng x, which is 2. Kasi ito ay ang ating x values and y values. So, since meron na tayong 2 points, we can now graph our equation using Cartesian plane. So, 0, 5, hanapin lamang ang 0 sa ating x-axis. So, ang 0 sa ating x-axis ay andito. Then, yung 5 sa y-axis. Ayan. So, yung ating point ay andito. So, as you can see, nakatapat siya sa 0 ng ating x-axis at nakatapat sa 5 ng ating y-axis. Next, 2, 0. So, yung 2, which is x, ay nasa x axis. So, nandito yung 2. So, andito yung ating point. As you can see, nakatapat yung point natin sa positive 2 at the same time 0 ng ating y-axis. So, meron na tayong 2 points here. So, we can now connect these 2 points using a line. So, this is now the graph of the equation 5x equals 10 minus 2y using the x-intercept and y-intercept. Now, let's have the third method in graphing linear equations in two variables by using the slope and y-intercept. You have learned that the standard form of the linear equation of two variables ax plus by equals c can be written in its slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, where m now is the slope and b is the y-intercept. There are steps in graphing linear equations in two variables using the slope and y-intercept. First, write the equation in the slope-intercept form y equals mx plus b. Next is identify the slope or m and y-intercept our b. Third, plot the point 0b in the rectangular coordinate system. And number 4, from the point 0b, plot another point using the slope m equals rise over run. A third point is used for checking. Then, the last step is connect the points to form a straight line. Let's have example using the slope and y-intercept in graphing linear equation in two variables. First, graph the linear equation in the two variables 3x plus 6y equals 12 using the slope and y-intercept. So first step is we are going to rewrite the equation 3x plus 6y equals 12 into slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So this is our equation. We must rewrite this into this form, y equals mx plus b. So as you can see, we have 3x here. Dapat nasa kabilang side siya. Dapat y lang yung andito sa ating left side. Okay, y lang yung nasa left side. So yung may x at yung ating b ay dapat nasa right side. So we are going to transpose or ilipat natin tong 3x dito sa kabilang side. So pag naglipat tayo, yung sign ng ating ililipat ay babaliktarin. So yung positive 3x ay maging negative 3x. Then just copy positive 12. So para matanggal yung 6 dito, kailangan y lang ang matira. We divide both sides by 6. So 6y divided by 6, cancel na yung 6. Ang matira ay y equals negative 3x divided by 6 is negative 1/3 x. Then, positive 12 divided by 6 is positive 2. Thus, our m here, our slope is negative 1/3. And the y-intercept is 0, 2. Tandaan na yung b dito, yung b natin which is 2, is our y-intercept. So pag sinulat natin ito, ay 0b. 0, b. So we have now 0 at yung b natin ay positive 2. So since we have now slope and y-intercept or yung point natin na 0, 2, pwede na natin siyang i-graph or i-plot sa ating Cartesian plane. Unahin nating i-plot lagi ay ang ating y-intercept, which is 0, 2. So 0 nakatapat sa x-axis, nandito yung 0, at yung 2 ay nakatapat sa ating y-axis. So andito yung ating point na 0, 2. Okay. So from this point ay i-plot naman natin yung ating slope, yung isang point natin gamit ang ating slope na negative 1/3. So ang yung 1, negative 1 natin ay siya yung ating rise. Yung 3 ay yung run. So rise over run. So since negative yung ating 1, we move vertically 1 step downward kasi negative siya. So from this point, 1. And then our run is positive 3. So from this point, magmo-move tayo to the right kasi positive siya. So from this point, 1, 2, 3. So, andito na yung ating pangalawang point. Okay. Pwede pa din naman natin tong i-continue para ma-check natin. Again, our slope is negative 1/3. So, negative 1 going downward, isa lang kasi negative 1. Then, going to the right since it is positive 3. So, 1, 2, 3. So, here's another point. Nandyan. So, connecting now these 3 points here, using line, we have now the graph of 3x plus 6 equals 12. So, let's have another example using the slope and y-intercept in graphing linear equations in two variables. So example number 2, graph the linear equation in two variables 2x minus 5y equals 15 using the slope and y-intercept. So first step is to rewrite the equation 2x minus 5y equals 15 into slope-intercept form y equals mx plus b. So, our equation is 2x minus 5y equals 15. So, meron na naman tayong 2x sa ating left side. Kailangan mapunta siya dito sa ating right side. Kasi, y lang dapat yung nasa left side because of the form y equals mx plus b. Yung y lang ang andito sa ating left side. So, kailangan nating ilipat yung 2x sa kabilang side. So, pag nilipat natin ang positive 2x ay magiging negative 2x. Then, just copy positive 15. Kailangan matanggal yung negative 5 kasi y lang dapat ang matira. So, we need to divide both sides of the equation by negative 5. So, negative 5y divided by negative 5 is equal to y. Negative 2x divided by negative, so negative divided by negative is positive. So, we have here positive 2 over 5x. Then, positive 15 divided by negative 5 is negative 3. Why negative? Because if we are going to divide unlike sign, the answer is always negative. Thus, our m now, our slope is 2 over 5. 2 is the rise and 5 is the run. And now the y-intercept is negative 3. So to write for the y-intercept, we have 0, negative 3. Since meron na tayong y-intercept at slope, we can now graph the equation 2x minus 5y equals 15 using Cartesian plane. So, unahin nating i-plot ang 0, negative 3. So, we have now 0, nakatapat siya sa x-axis, and our y is negative 3, kailangan nakatapat sa y-axis. So, nandito yung ating point 0, negative 3. So, from point 0, negative 3, bibilangin na natin yung ating rise over run, which is 2 over 5. Our rise is 2, so since it is positive, magbilang tayo ng 2 units upward. So, from this point, 1, 2. At yung ating run is 5. So, since positive yung 5, we move 5 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, andito yung ating second point. Okay. So, connecting now these 2 points here, using a line, so we have now the graph of the equation 2x minus 5y equals 15. Let's solve the last method in graphing linear equations in two variables. It is by using the slope and a point. There are steps in graphing linear equations in two variables using the slope and a point on a line. These are the following. First, write the equation in the slope-intercept form y equals mx plus b and identify the slope or the m equals rise over run. Second, to find a point, assign a value for x and substitute it in the equation to solve for y. You will have point x, y. Third, plot point xy in the rectangular coordinate plane. Fourth, from point xy, plot another point using the slope. A third point is used for checking. And the last step is connect the points to form a straight line. So let's have example using the slope and a point in graphing linear equation in two variables. Example number 1. Graph the linear equation in two variables negative 8x plus 6y equals negative 12 using the slope and a point. So our first step is to rewrite the equation into y equals mx plus b. So to rewrite negative 8x plus 6y equals negative 12 into this form, kailangan nating mailipat ang negative 8x dito sa ating right side ng ating equation. So, pag nilipat natin ang negative 8x, magiging positive 8x siya. And then just copy negative 12 and our 6y equal sign. Para matanggal yung 6 dito, at y lang ang matira, kailangan natin mag-divide both sides by 6. 6y divided by 6 is equal to y. 8x divided by 6 is 4 over 3x. Then negative 12 divided by 6 is negative 2. Thus, our slope here is 4 over 3. Ang ating m ay 4 over 3. Next step is, kailangan natin magkaroon ng isang point. So, para magkaroon tayo ng isang point, ay kailangan natin mag-set ng kahit anong values ng x for us to find the value of y. So dito, ise-set ko na ang x natin ay equal to positive 3. So using now our equation, papalitan ko yung x ng positive 3. So simplifying this, negative 8 times 3 is equal to negative 24. And just copy, plus 6y equals negative 12. Ngayon, kailangan 6y lang ang matira sa ating left side ng equation. So, kailangan natin mailipat ang negative 24 sa right side ng ating equation. So, pag ilipat natin ang negative 24, magiging positive 24 siya. So, simplifying this, negative 12 plus 24 is equal to 12. And just copy 6y and the equal sign. Now, kailangan y lang ang matira. So, yung 6 ay kailangan matanggal. Para matanggal yung 6, kailangan natin mag-divide both sides by 6. So, 6y divided by 6 is equal to y. 12 divided by 6 is equal to 2. So, yung ating point ay 3, 2. 3, 2. Or, you can use the equation in its slope-intercept form. Kanina, ang ginamit kasi natin ay yung ating standard form. Pwede rin naman natin gamitin tong naka-slope-intercept form by just changing x into 3. So, multiplying 4 third to 3, the answer is 12 over 3 minus 2. And 12 divided by 3 is equal to 4 minus 2. So, 4 minus 2 is equal to 2. Thus, using the slope-intercept form, pareho pa rin ang ating point which is 3, 2. So, since meron na tayong isang point at slope, we can now graph our negative 8x plus 6y equals negative 12 using the Cartesian plane. So, i-plot natin yung isang point natin which is 3, 2. So, nakatapat siya sa 3 sa x-axis at nakatapat sa 2 ng ating y-axis. So, yung point natin na 3, 2 ay andito. Okay. So, from this point, using now our slope, maipa-plot na natin yung pangalawang point. So, from this point, our rise is 4, positive 4. Since it is positive, we move 4 units upward. So, from this point, we count 1, 2, 3, 4. And our run, I should say, is positive 3. So, since it is positive, we move 3 units to the right. So, from this point, 1, 2, 3. So, andito yung ating pangalawang point. So, we can now connect the 2 points to form a straight line. So, this line now is our graph for negative 8x plus 6y equals negative 12. So, let's have another example using the slope and a point in graphing linear equation in two variables. So, example number 2. Graph the linear equation in two variables x minus 3y equals 15 using the slope and a point. So, our first step is to rewrite the equation into y equals mx plus b. So, to rewrite x minus 3y equals 15 into this form, kailangan nating ilipat yung x sa kabilang side. So, pag nilipat natin itong x dito, itong positive x, sa kabilang side ng ating equation ay magiging negative x ito. And then, just copy positive 15 and yung ating negative 3y equals. So, para matanggal yung negative 3 dito, ay kailangan natin mag-divide both sides by negative 3. So, negative 3y divided by negative 3 is equal to y. So, na-cancel na yung ating negative 3 dito. Then, negative x or negative 1x divided by negative 3 is equal to positive 1/3 x. Why positive? Because pag nag-divide tayo ng parehong negative, ang sagot ay laging positive. Then, positive 15 divided by negative 3 is negative 5. Bakit? Pag nag-divide tayo ng magkaiba ang sign, ay laging negative. So, we have now y equals 1/3 x minus 5. 1/3 now is our slope. Our m is equal to 1/3. Next is, kailangan natin magkaroon ng isang point. Para magkaroon tayo ng isang point, mag-set tayo ng kahit anong values ng x para mahanap natin yung value ng y. So, ang gagamitin ko ay, nilet x ko equals 3. So, papalitan ko ngayon yung x dito sa ating equation ng 3. So, simplifying this, 1/3 times 3 is equal to 3/3. Paano nakuha yung 3/3? Minultiply ko yung numerator na 1 sa 3. So, 1 times 3 is equal to 3. At we all know that yung 3 dito ay may denominator na 1. So, multiplying now both denominator, 3 times 1 is equal to 3. And 3 divided by 3 is equal to 1. Then I just copied minus 5. And 1 minus 5 is equal to negative 4. So, meron na tayong point which is 3, negative 4. So, since meron na tayong isang point at slope, we can now graph the equation x minus 3y equals 15 using Cartesian plane. So, i-plot natin ang ating point 3, negative 4. So, yung 3 ay matatagpuan sa x-axis. So, nandito siya. And then, yung negative 4 ay kailangan nating tignan sa y-axis. So, yung negative 4 ay andito. So, itatapat natin yung point sa positive 3 at negative 4 ng ating y-axis. So, andito yung ating point. Okay, so andito yung ating point. Okay. So, from this point, pwede na nating or makuha na natin yung isa pang point sa pamamagitan ng paggamit ng ating slope na 1/3. 1 now is our rise and 3 now is our run. So, yung rise natin is 1. So, magbilang lang tayo ng 1 unit upward kasi positive yung 1. So, from this point, we have 1. And then, our run is 3. Since it is positive, so mag-move tayo to the right ng 3 units. So, 1, 2, 3. So, nandito na yung ating isang point. Since we have 2 points now, we can now connect this to form a straight line. So, this is now the graph of our equation x minus 3y equals 15. Thank you, everyone. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, follow, and like my YouTube channel. Until next time, God bless!